March real estate market update. Hi, my name is Jonathan Campbell, and really looking forward to going over March update. It's crazy. Weather's getting warmer up here in Pennsylvania, and really getting nice out. So hopefully everybody's getting ready for spring. I think it was the first day of spring yesterday. I don't follow all that stuff, but definitely getting warmer out there, and really looking forward to that here. We're here to give you expert advice on housing and everything in not only just the broader market, but then your local Lehigh Valley. So I know if you've been following the market update a while, you've been seeing all sorts of different questions about like, should I sell a house right now? What does it look like? But this is really what we're getting a lot of the questions on right now is, should I buy a house right now? And we're going to explore the different data sets that we see going on right now. Does it make sense? What is happening? Is it actually cheaper to rent than buy right now? A lot of those questions I'm going to answer here in this market update. But that's what's happening right now. Is a lot of people are asking me, should I buy a house right now? And I was actually just with some New York City brokers yesterday, and what they were telling me is it's just interesting to hear all of the different perspectives of different things going on in the market. And what they were saying yesterday was like, hey, our market, it can be like block to block. So like a block here, then 3 blocks over could be a completely different market, a completely different way of how to sell a home, a completely different way of how to buy a home in those areas, and a completely different price range of it as well. So I'm here to really give you guys guidance of what's happening nationally, speak to you about the Lehigh Valley, but then advise you, hey, really go speak to that market expert in your market. Whoever sent you this video, speak to them about it. But let's dive into it. So should I buy a house right now? So let's look at this, at some of the data going on. So this is literally today's mortgage rates on an average home price of our loan amount, I should say, of about $250,000, 6.75% fixed rate right now for conventional loans. FHA saying about 6.2. What we went over in our sales meeting earlier this week as a real estate company is, how do you actually deliver points and mortgage points? Talk to your mortgage broker, see what you can do with points. They can easily lower your interest rate almost up to a whole point down. So talk to your mortgage lender about that, of what you can do to bring that mortgage rate down. Now, what we're seeing in the mortgage rates is they're up, they're down. They've really been hovering anywhere from like the high fives to all the way to 7%. So you guys got to get used to living in these sixes right now, is what I always say. You can see here it went as low as 4.66 over the last 30 days, as high as 7.37. So that has been a pretty high swing rate there. But at the same time, we're going to be living in the sixes. We've seen the actual mortgage rates in these sixes for quite some time now, and this is really where a lot of it is going to lie. And I don't want to get into a big economics course here or go over any of that, but this is what you'll see. And the mortgage rates a lot of times follow this 10-year treasury. It's been happening for the last really forever of mortgage history. But what that means is you hear about these banks failing and all this national news of the economy. And what happens is, sometimes when you hear a bank fail and you actually see mortgage rates go down, people get confused by that. They think because of the recession that mortgage rates are going to spike and they're going to go through the roof. They're going to go to 10, 11, 12%. And again, we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know where they're going to end up at. But they're not going to be there when you look at this. And it's because what happens is, when a lot of these banks fail, a lot of the investors go into bonds. They buy government bonds. And you see that a lot of times when that bank failed, you see it right here. The treasury bonds actually were purchased, which means that this came down. So what ended up happening was mortgage rates actually came down when all the news of some of these banks failing came out. So a lot of times when you hear the news and you hear the financial crisis going on, it doesn't have a direct impact on what is going on with your actual interest rate of your mortgage. So I just want to give you a heads up on that, because what happens with the banks doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen with the mortgage rates. It's really that 10-year treasury that a lot of this stuff follows. So that's one thing. So interest rates, pretty steady. I know they're high compared, like historically. I shouldn't say high historically, but high over the last 2-3 years. But at the same time, they're very steady from what they've been fluctuating. So at 6.75% on average, talk to your lender about buying points down, getting it a little bit lower. Now, here's one of the big things that is happening right now. Inventory is still very low. Home builders have not caught up with demand in a lot of our markets of houses that are out there. In Pennsylvania, in Lehigh Valley, I'm going to go over those specific stats a little bit later, but our inventory is very low right now. On average, there's less than 500 homes active on the open market. But you can see here, Pennsylvania, it's really hard. It's a little small, but 8.2% down in inventory, really month over month. You can see different areas like Florida, 1.5% down. So they're building a little bit more consistently because it's easier to find land, easier to find deals. And you see that actually in the Sun Belt region down here, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Their inventory is not as low because it's actually a little bit easier to build in those areas with the land values and just land availability. And then places like Pennsylvania, in our market, inventory is way down. In the Lehigh Valley in particular, it's a little bit harder to find affordable land and buy. But at the same time, you can see here, inventory is a little bit lower. So what that means is that on average, housing inventory has gone down. So demand is still pretty high. I mean, we're running open houses and we're getting at least 20, 30, 40, 50 people showing up at these open houses. So the demand is there, but the inventory is harder. So what it's doing is it's actually holding prices steady. So these are the showings in Pennsylvania. The orange line is what you want to focus on in this model right here. And you can see here, we're basically right on pace with the last 2-3 years of what is happening with showings. So you can see here, showings are starting to increase. They're continuously there. So the demand really hasn't, again, from showing standpoint, has not fallen off at all. There's plenty of showings out there. We're getting multiple offers on listings right now. I mean, we just did 2 houses that had multiple offers literally today that I've seen. And so you're getting multiple offers still in this market. It's because the showing demand has not gone down. You can see it right here, clear as day. That orange line is keeping pace. And then people are saying, well, hey, is it cheaper to rent right now because of the mortgage interest rates? It's not. Rent is continuing to go up in most markets. Again, check with your local expert. Reach out to us to help you out in the Lehigh Valley. But rents are still going up in a majority of the markets that are out there. So rents are going up. You're not paying anything towards your equity. So long term, no, renting is not going to be cheaper than owning your house. So because the interest rates have gone up, does not equate to mortgage rates are going to be higher than what you would pay in rent. Obviously, there's unique situations, things like that. But on average, no. Rent is still going up. Mortgages are still good here. And then what happens is a lot of people are saying, well, all this doom and gloom that you hear on the news, all that, what's happening with prices? And I always relate pricing to supply and demand. You guys already saw back here on the showing slide, demand is still here. People are getting more and more comfortable with buying houses at a higher interest rate because that's the new norm going on right now. I said get comfortable with the 6s, but showing activity is still there. And so supply and demand, when you have inventory going down and showings remaining the same, that means that demand is still very, very high. And so prices are predicted to actually go up really over the course of the next several years. And so that is still there. So is it a good time to buy? Yes, it is. I know the national news doesn't want to show you that and think you're crazy, but it is a good time to buy. You hear about all these banks falling, all that. It's still a great time to buy. You still leverage, get a good interest rate on your mortgage. Talk to your lender about buying down points, different strategies like that. But at the same time, it is still a good time to buy for sure. Now, another thing I want to bring up here real quick is FHA buyers definitely start to look at houses right now in the springtime going on right now, because right now FHA buyers do have a little bit of an advantage. FHA conventional, you guys do have an advantage right now because a lot of the markets that are out there, now this isn't as prevalent in the Lehigh Valley, but in other big city markets, you have a lot of what's called iBuyers and institutional buyers that come in and buy houses in cash at a massive scale. A lot of them are not buying right now. So your FHA, conventional guys, you guys have an advantage right now to buy in this spring market because you're not competing against those institutional cash offers in a lot of your major markets across the country. So take advantage of that. Go buy a house this spring if home ownership is something that you are looking forward to. But take advantage of that right now because they're not buying as heavily like I said there. So let's talk about the Lehigh Valley. What is going on in the Lehigh Valley? Like I said, multiple offers are still being received. Yeah, you're not getting 102, 103% on average, but literally right at 100%. So you list your property, price it correctly, price it to what your agent is really advising here. But on average, yes, you're getting a lot of showings, you're getting multiple offers, and on average, 99.9%, as close to 100% of asking price as you can get. It's actually gone up from the previous month. So again, buyer demand is there. I can't stress that enough to anybody that's thinking about selling their home in this market. It's not doom and gloom. There is multiple offers going on in this market. So I just want to keep you guys abreast of that. Average sales price has also continued to stay very, very, very strong, up 9.3% from this time last year. As of January, it's gone down a little bit here to 327. But again, on average, this is actually going up from the previous year. Prices still very, very strong in the Lehigh Valley. Again, you are sitting on typically a good amount of equity if you have bought in your house, at least within the last, from 4 or 5 years ago, beyond or below. You have plenty of equity in your house on that. Days on market starting to climb up a little bit. On average, buyers are a little bit more hesitant in this market to pull the trigger for sure. One, inventory is down. Homes are staying a little bit longer. Buyers are a little bit more hesitant, like I said, to purchase, again, because they don't know what the rates are going to do. They don't know what's going to happen there. So homes are sitting a little bit more on the market. So 30 days on average. You see here historically, we're nowhere near the 100-day mark. But again, it has gone up slightly here to 30 days on average. And then inventory of homes. Again, I harped on this earlier, supply and demand. We are low. We're at 489 homes of inventory available in the Lehigh Valley, 2.4% down from last year. And you can see here, 2021, 48% down. 2022, 22% down from the previous year, 2.4% down from 2022. So yes, inventory is still very, very low in the Lehigh Valley. We have about a little over 600,000 people in our market and 489 houses available. Super low. You can see here closed sales. 2023 of February, 360 home sales. Now, again, these numbers are going to be low. One, the inventory is just not there, so there's not enough houses to actually sell. But the other thing here that you see on closed sales is they're down, and it's because the interest rates, the housing affordability, what's going on. The prices are still pretty high. Mortgage rates are up there, and the inventory is just low. So the demand's still there, but again, because the inventory is so low, not as many closed sales going on. Yet pending sales has definitely creeped up from January from 439 to 501. So really over the last 3 months, that is definitely a much higher percentage, but about 9% down from the previous year, which again makes sense because of inventory crunches that are going on right now, and not as many people looking to sell their home right now. Housing affordability, again, that's just a measure of high sales price, interest rates a little bit higher. So yes, it's not as affordable as it was in previous years to purchase a home, but again, still a great time to purchase the home. So again, what we hear a lot of times from sellers is we're not just going to put our house on the market because we don't know where we are going to go, and that's a real thing. That is a real thing. I mean, I hear from my agents, hey, I show them people a house 10, 15 times. They just don't know where they're going to go because of the lack of inventory. Sometimes they don't even show a house at all because of their criteria and that. But a lot of times they just don't know where to go. So here at eXp, we offer all the options to sell and buy a home. And so one of the solutions I just want to go over today is our Coming Soon program of what we can do to kind of help you navigate that hard decision when you want to sell your house because you want to maximize the equity of your home, yet you don't know where you're going to go because something's just not popping up on the search engines or anything like that. So the one thing I just want to give you access to is Coming Soon listings, off-market properties. We have access to off-market properties. We have people that are in the same situation that you might be in right now. And what we're looking to do is help you connect them with very qualified buyers. So if you come to us and you say, hey, I'm really thinking about selling my home, but I don't want to put it on the market because I don't want all that stress and then the extra stress of going to and being pressured to find a home, just let us know. We'll put you on our coming soon property list. We will get you access to the other coming soon properties so you can see what's off market. And it kind of helps you that make that decision a little bit easier. We actively have these homes constantly going in and out at different parts of the week, but you have access to off-market properties that you are not going to find on our own website. You're not going to find them on Zillow. They're things that we actually cannot advertise, but you reach out to us and we can get you access to these properties because there's people out there that are struggling with that decision, just like you might think you are having that as well. So access to off-market properties is so crucial in this market, puts you a leg up with the competition. We just had an agent that showed literally about 20 houses, put 3 or 4 different offers, lost them just because of the multiple offers competition that's going on out there. And then what ended up happening was they found an off-market deal on one of our properties behind the scenes. They didn't have to compete with all the different multiple offers. They came to terms with the seller. Seller loved the offer, loved the convenience, loved that they didn't have to be burdened with all the showing of different things. And yet we put more money in their pocket than what they would get from an investor or a cash offer. They were super happy about it. So reach out to us, reach out to the person that sent this to you, see what kind of off-market deals that they have. It might help you get that. Strategy matters in this market more than ever. I'll catch you guys coming up here in April. Hope you have a wonderful holiday season coming up in a couple weeks, and looking forward to seeing you guys in April.